Content warning. Echo can be an emotionally intense experience and may not be for everyone. Echo contains themes of an adult nature, including violence, torture, drug usage, and harsh language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Not even his recently crazed self. Still, though I don't want to admit it, I start to have an idea of what Duke might be getting at. How this all fits into our history. And judging from the look gathered on the crowd, the feeling appears mutual. There's a murmured inquiries about what to do. Heather is still quietly sobbing, asking a group of people who ignore her why no one's helping Keith. Genevieve Sanders, a retired mail carrier from Peyton, mentioned something about a lynching. Jenna's arms are crossed tight, her expression sort of fouled, indignant stare that slowly falters into upset confusion. TJ's next to her, one paw on her arm. I can barely hear him, but he keeps saying he's sorry over and over. Leo begins to tug at Leo, pulling him back in the direction of the van. The two begin to hurriedly walk before Auntie speaks up. Stop! Stop! I always had this inkling desire, this idea of getting justice for what happened. Sydney deserved as much, but now I can't say I'm feeling the catharsis or joy, just the hollow rumbling of my insides that this ain't right. This can't be how we fix shit. Carl has his head down now, the ram acting small despite his burly proportions. I just want to move beside him and tuck him under my arm and fuck off far away from here. Get back over here! Leo clutches Chase tighter, the otter wincing as this struggles to wiggle free from the wolf. I can walk on my own, Leo. Leo seems to ignore both the mayor and Chase as they approach the van. Jenna quickly shoves her phone into her purse, the Fennec visibly trying to not to look at the body as TJ, Carl, and Dex join them. Jesus. I rub at my aching head. Fuck this, I gotta get out of here. I hear the clicking noise on my side. The horrible noise is deafening. I clutch the sides of my head and crouch down. A brass shell casing falls and hits my leg. It's hot. Duke's pointing his pistol into the air. Our group stops in their tracks, TJ falling on the ground and covering his face. Heather shrieking, screaming over and over again. And then suddenly she stops. There's some flailing of movement from the group that was standing near her, like the dancing you see in raves. When I look again, I can't see her anymore. Micah's gone too. Him and a few others scattered. I can faintly see the bat silhouette in the distance sprinting into the desert. What the fuck, Duke? I scream at the whistle. Need to get their attention for the mayor, yeah? That's no fucking excuse. That shot could have come back down and killed someone. Duke clutches his pistol limply in his grasp, seemingly uncaring or where he's pointing the loaded weapon as he twirls his wrist about. It's about late for that now. Folks been hurt already. And they'll continue to get hurt till we stop this. I hear shouts of agreement from the remaining crowd. Auntie just nods and I can't help but give her a dumbfounded look. I clutch my repeater close. Spiders got him. That right, Flynn? She points to Chase. Yeah, he sat in the nest of him. Duke? She holds up a finger, fast walking back into the office without another word. Duke watches the group by the van, everyone's quiet, his pistol aimed up at the sky. Faded paper clutched in her hands. There's some old-timey writing on both sides of it. Mark uses his cell phone as a light and begins to read, Duke lowering his gun. I can't see Jenna moving by the edge of the van. She's motioning towards me, then Duke. What does she want me to do? Disarm him? One quick chop of the wrist, that'll do it, I guess. I'd have to drop my repeater, though. I don't really want to risk, at least not yet. Surprisingly, Chase speaks up. What's it say? Boy, I think you know what it says. You were rooting through our stuff and plugging all these records, on Thursday. James Hendricks, notice of death. Carl visibly stiffens. Guess who killed him? Spiders. I stepped up, squinting at the paper. It's a notice of death, all right, for reference in an estate transfer. It's for James Hendrick, who passed away in 1913. The cause of death is listed as poison infection. Tarantula. Tarantula? Chase shifts uncomfortably. Chase's ass got planted on some black widows. And what does Carl's old great whatever have to do with this? James Hendricks, the first, was a notorious sodomite like Chase. What? You say he was looking for that at this the other day? He's working on a school project. Hell, that's why he's here. He chimed. You sure about that? Auntie seemed to pry at my own inkling doubt. I look back at the pathetic looking otter. He looks back at me. And then Dax steps up. Hey, he stops just short of the body on the ground. Daxon straightens his posture, folding his hands behind his back. Mr. Duke, I think you're making a lot of really interesting headway into how we can solve all this. You know, much better than just hiding out in our houses for rampant chaos like. But Salem here. But the war's hollow eye socket still staring at the stars above. Whatever's got him, I think stop and slash avoiding. That should be priority number one. Because I mean, I've only known Chase by a half a week, but he doesn't seem like the sort to be capable of all this. Kid, I've known Chase all my life, and I reckon something similar. But at the end of the day, Chase didn't do this. It's what Chase did that did this. This town needs justice. Hell, that little Sydney kid needs justice. I'm gonna save y'all. And make it so she leaves me alone once and for all. Who leaves you alone? Duke doesn't respond, instead raising his pistol. I can't tell who's he aiming at, his paw's shaky. I need to do something. Jesus fuck. No, come on, let me do something! Oh, I stand there and I can see Jenna beside the fan looking at me pleadingly. Auntie peering at me now, a strange look on her face. This isn't right. I should be doing something. My head is killing me. Something's wrong. And at that worst possible fucking time, I grit my teeth, concentrating on what's really happening. Duke says something I can't quite make out, and Daxon stammers back in retort. I've had visions of Chase too, but nothing that points towards that conclusion. Leo slides Chase behind him, the wolf's ears pinned to the side of his head. Raise the repeater. Despite the throbbing pain, I managed to pull up my gun and aim it at Duke. Drop it, fucker! Fleeing! Let him die. Let him die! Fuck you! I ain't gonna kill him, Flynn. He just needs to stay put. If the spider bites get him, then that's fate. And if he doesn't stay put, I'll make him stay put. The fuck you will? Put your goddamn gun down. Duke just stares ahead at the otter, pistol at raised. Daxon holds up his hand, ultimately stepping in the side and out of line of fire. You don't need to do that. I said drop it. Why won't you fucking listen to me? Duke says nothing. Do it! I see the weasel exhale, traces of cigarette smoke leaving his nostrils and disappearing into a hazy air. Slowly, his wrist goes limp and he lowers his arm to his side. I step over and knock the gun out of his paw. Next thing I know, Leo's sprinting across the parking lot. The wolf tackles the weasel down to the ground, striking him in the jaw with its free fist. Mark and Auntie quickly try to pull him off, and I scamper down to grab Duke's pistol before Leo does. Let me go! Let me go! We're leaving, Leo, come on! Duke winches on the ground, one of his snaggletooth hanging from his lower lip. Y'all doomed us, kid, and he's gonna get away with it. He stretches his mangy arms across the ground, pointing towards Chase. Auntie moves over beside me, resting her hand on my shoulder. Flynn, you can't make a decision for everyone. There's something wrong with... I can't believe you entertained this fucking meth head's proposal. I used to think you were a good person, you know? But fuck that. Witch trials it is. I spit on the ground. Oi! Auntie lowers her hand and begins to fidget with her scarf, her gaze shifting downcast. Used to think us Moors were immune to all this sort of business. But I don't think you are, not anymore. Be careful, Flynn. She turns, walking back towards Mark, who is busy rewrapping Salem's body and bringing him inside. It's rare to see her look uneasy, trying to run a shit town like Echo. You get this thick skin for shit crumbling around you, but nothing like this. Daxon quickly helps Chase into the van, and the rest of the gang follows. I basically have to drag him by the shirt to get him to come with me, the wolf snarling and swearing in his native language the whole time. Sunday. We just have to... Oh my god. Oh my god. Give me a second. Oh my god, I need a second. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm eating now. Like, god. I stare into the rearview mirror, watching for any signs of taillights in our wake. Leo's driving, of course. Carl's feeling woozy after everything that happened. I wish I was sitting in the back with him, but unfortunately my legs are too long. That and Leo's van is clearly not designed for folks with thick tails, so I gotta sit with my cheeks straddling the edge to make room. He's sitting in between Jenna and TJ and Dax, with Dax and Chase in the back. There's been some chatter about what happened and what's bullshit and not bullshit. TJ's the only one who's been quiet. Though one thing's for certain, with everything that's happened, everyone seems pretty focused on getting out of town. Leo doesn't floor it like I expected him to, but we moved down the bench of the mountain and through the town speedily through. I see Jenna look out her own window intently, and I can only imagine it's to see if she can spot Jeremy, maybe even her mother. Dude, I don't feel good. Chase got bit by a black widow, and he's been complaining less than you, Carl. Speaking of, how you holding up, Potter? Oh my god. Ah! Chase give a half-hearted thumbs up, the mucilid's forehead resting against the side of the window. Carl, just puke on the floor if you have to. I don't think Leo's gonna stop. Carl leans over and puts his head between his knees and groaning. That gets TJ's attention as he starts rubbing the ram's back slowly. Good thing smoothies probably aren't too bad on the way out. TJ frowns. I turn the dial on the radio, but like the cell phone signal, I'm not getting anything. For now, I just turn up the AC and aim it towards my face. My head's still throbbing up a storm. This feels like a dream, doesn't it? Leo speaks softly, too quiet for anyone behind us to hear. I wouldn't know. You put Chase in danger. Oh god. I cross my forearms over the dashboard and lean my face into them. I also saved his ass. I keep my voice low. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see Carl perking up to listen in. Doesn't excuse it. 7 years ago, I swore to Chase I'd fuck up anyone who pulled anything like what you just did. I'm not in the mood for this shit, Leo. You want to hit me? Sure, whatever. Whatever keeps you your alpha dog juices flowing. Leo goes quiet for a second, seemingly not having expected me to relent. You're going to stay away from him then? Gladly. Don't know if I believe you. Jesus fuck. I can see him beginning to fidget with the mirror, squinting at it for a second. He pushes the cab light. The cab light and the interior of the van is quickly illuminated in a sort of too bright amber glow. What is it, Leo? I push myself up, Leo staring at the mirror. Chase, you shaved again? Dax screams, what in the fuck? I and the others quickly turn around to see what the commotion is about. For a split second, I think I see something fading into the seat cushions between Dax and Chase. It's a blackish brown silhouette of a person. It reminds me of how when you stare at a light for a while and close your eyes, you can still see it for a moment. I blink and it's gone. You saw that, right? What in Sam Hill? Tell me you saw that. I don't know what I saw. Carl's rubbing his eyes. I didn't see anything. What happened? Damn it, I could feel that thing. Dax looks to Chase, who's clearly kind of out of it at this point. You remember when I told you about how in the dream thing I could feel your fur? It was just like that. Really? Huh. Chase on non-pulse. The skin around his eyes is a bit pale. It's unclear whether he saw what we did. The otter patting at the fabric of the spot where the silhouette was. It looked like you. Relax, guys. It's just Chase. He wouldn't hurt a fly. Chase, the real Chase, groans. Yeah, sure. His voice is still weird and high-pitched, and it kind of seems like I'm the only person noticing. No, Leo. I'm talking about the fact that there were 2 freaking Chases next to me. Chase, do you know what's happening? The otter grimaces some as he rolls his neck to look at me. It's the hysteria, man. It's like what the mayor said and Duke said. People see stuff and go nuts. I'm just glad I'm not the only one seeing this stupid shit anymore. So you're telling me that this is some sort of collective psychosis? That you are witnessing, we're all witnessing hallucinations of the same thing? Dude, I've been on acid before and you can at least tell that something's weird's happening in your body when stuff starts popping up. All the things considered, I'm like, okay. And still could see whatever the hell that was. Carl shifts nervously in the seat, the ram looking uncomfortable with what of having his back turned to now empty seat. It's like shadow chase. I saw it in the rear view mirror at first. Leo's looking in the said mirror. We're fucking fortunate. We're on a straight shot road now. He visits a lot. Jenna furrows his brow at the wolf. Leo? She pauses, nothing the vacant look on Leo's face. Do you want me to drive for a bit? That's funny. I'm serious. So am I. Well, let's try not to think about this for now. That's a bit of a tall order. Jenna shrugs uncomfortably. It's your choice. Can we just change the subject? A few minutes later, we're already passing the lake. Huh. So is it Sunday already? Sunday morning? That's what the clock says. What a fucking day. I don't say anything in response. We never got to ask Flint's aunt about the thing. We could always go back and ask. What? No, He's kidding, TJ. Oh, he's kidding, TJ. Oh. The Lynx stares at the space between his knees. Do you actually think she'd know anything about Flynn? About it, Flynn? I don't know. She and Mark knew enough about what happened with the body, though. Carl shivers and put his head back down while TJ continues to rub his back. A few minutes of silence go by before Carl speaks up again. That feels kind of nice. Reminds me of my mom. Yeah, actually my mom did it too. Thought it might help. Hey, I love you. Just so you know, all of you guys. I'm glad we're getting out of here. Fuck it, I'm going back to Pueblo. I raise a brow ridge at the ramp. And I'm taking you with me. He points at the thick finger towards me, leaning forward enough that he pokes me in the shoulder. I restrain a smile and said, letting out an idle grunt. Me? College? What a thought. The idea of being around guys my age and Carl. I'm not even sure what the hell I'm majoring in. Definitely not fucking poli-sci. I squeeze my wrist, trying to refocus. I love you too, Carl, and everyone else. You too, Captain Daxton. Captain? Oh, I was promoted? Cool. Daxton seemed distracted while watching Chase stare at his own fingertips. Yeah. Chase affirms his love for everyone with a groggy monotone. Jenna glances back at them before turning her attention to her own window. Leo doesn't say anything from the front, his focus solely on the road ahead of him. Are we at the clinic yet? Still about 20 minutes out. I watch as the desert whips by us for the first time, feeling somewhat safe as the town disappears behind us. But of course, it doesn't last long. What's that on the side of the road there? Huh? Leo's turned his head at the direction of something on the curb up ahead. We all do. What is that? Oh my god! TJ covers his mouth. Carl sits up straight, trying to see. Leo slows down as we pass. There's Chase's car, all the windows shattered. And there's Duke, lying a dozen feet away from the open door of the driver's seat. And there, crouching over him, is something I can't explain. Oh, this thing again! Hairless, body and limbs long. Way too long. The head comes up and all I see is 3 holes in blood. TJ screams next to me and Leo shouts something before stepping on the gas and slamming me back into my seat. I try to look back, but whatever it is, gone. At least it's gone from where it was, because I see something move next to my window and I turn to face it. And it stares back at me, but only for a moment. That thing, whatever the fuck it is, disappears almost in an instant I register that it's there. I'm only staring out into the blackness of desert. Still, 3 holes, eyes, and a mouth blink back at me in a sort of after image before that vanishes too. It's him! 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 TJ reaches up and grabs my arm, claws out. I'm too shocked to even pull away as TJ leans forward next to me, staring out the window. At least I know I'm not the only one who saw that. TJ squeaks again when no one answers. It's real? I don't know. Some kind of animal, maybe? I've never seen anything like that before. Dude could have had a disease. Lost all of its fur or something. Maybe Duke hit it. But it was walking. How is Duke here? He was back at City Hall. Maybe... Wait. How did he get... Wait. How did he... Wait, he was at City Hall when we left. Because this scene specific was only in Leo's route. Are we in like a time loop type thing? How does this work? Parallel timelines? Maybe it dragged him? Faster than our car? How did he get Chase's car? I still have my keys on me. That's impossible. Could have hotwired it. I don't know, man. TJ leans back, looping an arm around Carl's, and I could see him shaking. I look over my shoulder through the back window. Jesus fuck, just like Dax described. There, We've all seen it. It's how I remember, but I don't remember it ever moving that fast or within blood. Oh my god, my leg's vibrating. Oh my god, this is bad. Oh my god. Woo! Shake it up! Shake it up! Shake it
Oh,
up!
more dead things, huh?
No! I think we're in a time loop, Arden.
Oh?
Because we're remember that scene? You were there when we were in Leo's route, right? When we're driving on this highway to escape?
No.
No? So in Leo's
I
route.
came in after that.
So in Leo's route, we were driving on the highway on I think Cud's car, or yeah, in Cud's car, because Leo's car was slashed, and we were there with Jenna, Carl, and TJ and Chase, and Cuds and Leo, and we were driving when all of a sudden we see Chase's car, which was taken by Duke when we first went to the motel. When we captured Duke. No. Yeah, we captured Duke. And then he drove off with the car with a broken window and everything. And when we got to the highway, we saw his car with that weird spindly spider thing over his body.
Yeah.
And right now, we saw him again in Flynn's route. But everyone's confused because we just saw Duke in City Hall before we left. And Chase still has his keys. What the fuck is this visual novel? Wait, I'm taking off my headphones for a second. I'm turning off my AC. What is this visual novel? What is this? My legs are vibrating. Like, what is this? What is this?
Clearly SCP territory.
It's definitely SCP territory. Like, is it a time loop or like a parallel? It's not parallel dimension type shit. That can't be the word for it.
It could be that the town itself would be considered the SCP. Considering they said this is happening multiple times over, or has happened multiple times.
When someone
in the
is
past.
murdered, died, or killed, and the killer was not fought justice and comes back to town. Like, this heartbeat is not helping. I don't know how DB's gonna play this. Her tone is thoughtful and worried, and as if she's trying to rationalize this all herself. Fuck! That's what got Salem, isn't it? Jesus, don't fucking take your foot off the gas, Leo! Leo doesn't respond, staring hard ahead. He's squeezing on the wheel so hard it looks like it's bending. I pull back the hammer on the repeater, holding the rifle across my chest with the barrel pointing towards the window. I remember Duke's pistol that I stowed in the car door holder earlier. I grab it and toss it at the back seat. Jenna grabs it without hesitation, aiming out the opposite side. This is freaking nuts! At this point, Chase's car is a good distance away, only visible because the headlights are on, a streak of light fading out across the desert. Duke's dead, isn't he? Some dry retching noises followed by a heavy splattering sound cuts me off. Ooh, we're back in Chase. We're now in Chase's point of view now. Carl is hunched over in the seat, head between his legs. It isn't hard to figure out what just happened, especially when this is the same line. My gosh, Carl! TJ is torn between blanching away and comforting the ram. Carl comes back. This is exactly the same. Carl comes back, looking like he's about to say something before diving forward again. A much louder retch followed by a much quieter plopping sound follows. A grimace feeling my own stomach roll. Then this is new. God! Daxton looking up at them, a paw up to his nose. You okay, man? So Daxton took the place of Cuds. Carl keeps his head down a while longer, his finger twisting into the fabric of his shorts. TJ tentatively rubs his back. I would have done it out the window. It is exactly the same. Leo, are there any napkins up there? Leo, who's been silent up to now, remains silent. He's staring out at the window shield hard, paws on the wheel in death grip. Chase, meanwhile, is clutching his chest, his eyes red and bleary. He leans forward and the sound of something wet hitting the fabric floor mat is audible throughout the cabin. The cabin. Chase's puke sound makes less of a wet sound. This is new. Than Carl's, the wretch is more grotesque. I can practically feel the bile in my own esophagus. Daxton stops what he's doing and holds his Chase. Fuck! The otter manages to exclaim in between the bouts of puking. Drink some water! During all of this, I'm still glancing out the windows. Not head on, though, because I'm honestly fucking terrified I'm going to look straight into those eyes again. We drive in silence and the next 5 minutes with no creature in sight, thankfully. But I don't know what to think right now. There's no way what I saw was some animal, like Carl implied. The way it moved, the way it was crouched, and most of all, its face. I've never seen anything like that, at least anything that's not a Halloween costume. Maybe one of the locals dressed up in a costume or something? Is this some sort of shitty prank show like the one on Science Fiction Channel? But then how the fuck did it keep up with the car? Are we going that fast? Yo, did slow down a little. I keep these thoughts to myself. Everyone looks freaked out enough without any more speculation. I feel trapped, like I'm stuck in a metal box and I can barely move. With a gun, I can't aim. If this thing can outrun and rip at cars, nothing is safe. I just have to focus. We're on our way out, and soon I'll be safe in a clinic. Huh? Please.
Clinics, PlayStation, or
A plotting audience surrounding by a shit ton of cameras. But like, are we in Chase's point of view or Flynn's?
that's a good question.
If it's the latter, I'm decking. Okay, this is Flynn. Decking the first fucker that comes out with a microphone. I try not to think about Duke by the car, Salem on the blanket, and my aunt out there trying to keep everyone safe. With that thing, I shake my head trying to stay watch for any signs of movement. Are you okay, Chase? TJ's arms around Carl's. The lynx craning his neck to peer back at the hunched over otter. I've never been so freaking scared in my life, but yeah. Okay. Chase grasps at his throat and neck, wincing heavily. It's getting harder to breathe. Hold on, Chase.